Scout Log Atropos. Returnal is a hard game. Like a very hard game. Its learning curve is so steep that players may end up putting the game down because its world and its systems are so unfriendly. Death can come in a matter of seconds, and runs can feel like climbing up an endless tower of pain and defeat. But there is hope. Hey everyone, Disappointed Giant here. These top 10 Returnal tips will help you build your skills and learn new approaches that can help keep you alive and have more successful runs. This video is geared towards players who have a basic understanding of Returnal's mechanics, so if you just started playing, I recommend watching my beginner's guide before watching this. The link is in the description if you're interested. So without further ado, let's abandon Helios and fight our way through the ever-shifting planet of Atropos. Tip number 1, don't rely on manual aim. When you're in the middle of a firefight where 100 bullets are aimed in your direction, what you don't want to do is slow down and divert your focus by manually aiming. You almost always should use the on-screen reticle to aim as you're shooting instead of pressing the manual aim button. By doing this, you can continue your attack without changing your perspective of the action and will keep out of harm's way. There's a setting in the options menu where you can change the size of your reticle, so you should adjust that to find what works best for you. However, tip number 2, aim for an enemy's weak point to stagger it. As an exception to tip number 1, you may want to use your manual aim on elite enemies since that will show its weak point, which shows up as a red square. When you shoot this area, it will increase the enemy's stagger gauge more quickly, which is the little white bar underneath its health bar. Once the stagger gauge fills up, the enemy will be stunned for a few seconds, so you'll be able to wreak havoc before it recovers. Just remember to be mindful of your surroundings when manually aiming or using your alt fire so you don't put yourself in unnecessary danger. Which leads us to tip number 3, use the environment to avoid damage. Every combat room in Returnal has some kind of structure that you can put between you and the enemies you're facing. While using your dash's iframes to avoid damage should be second nature by now, having something in front of you that's literally more concrete can give you a chance to take a breath and regroup. Find a pillar or an outcropping and use it to block enemies' bullets and to keep some distance before re-engaging. As a bonus, sometimes the geometry of the room will allow you to funnel enemies into one area instead of taking on a whole group at once in a larger space. And speaking of, tip number 4. Walk into rooms slowly. While it feels really good to run into a room at full speed, you should slow down and walk into new rooms slowly. Some rooms can spawn enemies after you walk past a certain point, so if you don't rush in, you'll have some more control over the timing of the waves of enemies. Elites and larger enemies usually generate as soon as you go into a room, so there's no way to affect them, but some of the smaller enemies won't be there until you either cross a specific threshold on the map or after a set amount of time. Walk in slowly, check out your surroundings, and then pick off enemies as they pop in. Tip number 5, always dash after a long fall. There are malfunction and parasite traits that will cause damage after long falls. You'll know you've taken one of these if Celine braces herself when she hits the ground. If you dash as close to the ground as possible, you'll reset Celine's falling velocity and will negate any damage you'd incur from a parasite or malfunction. You should learn this skill and do it all the time so this becomes part of your normal gameplay. Secret rooms always have long falls, so don't forget to do this when you descend into one of those. Once this becomes habit for you, any parasites or malfunctions that cause you to take fall damage will be completely negated. Oh, and another thing about parasites. Tip number 6, read a parasite's negative effect before the positive. It can be tempting to quickly take a parasite that has a helpful positive trait, but it's way more important to factor in the negative effect first, since that often has more of an impact on your run. Think about it this way. Can you complete a run through fractured waist while having a debilitating increased dash cooldown so you can't get away from all those drones? What about taking damage when you pick up items so you'll lose health while changing weapons or picking up consumables? Are those worth having a 10% bonus to your repair efficiency or having Obolites stay on the map for 1 extra second? Some good traits can be completely zeroed out by a disruptive negative trait, so that consideration should always come first. Tip 7. Use your melee attack and grapple hook often. Your melee attack pulls you towards the nearest enemy and gives you iframes during its attack. This is very useful with turrets since they're always a one-hit melee kill. The grappling hook also gives you iframes for the entire time you use it. Always lean into that in rooms that have grapple points, since you'll be able to negate incoming damage for those couple of seconds while you're in the air. The range on the grappling hook is surprisingly long, so you can also use it to save you from falling into a pit or off of a ledge. Whenever you fall off a platform, you should always look for a grapple point and mash that triangle button in case you'll be able to save yourself. Tip 8. Look for overpowered artifacts. Returnal's artifacts are a mixed bag, with some being barely noticeable and others that can completely break the game. Whenever possible, you want to pick up these artifacts since they are all incredibly good. Astronaut figurine or Child's Watch. Both of these grant you an extra life, so if you fall in combat, you'll immediately respawn right where you left off. One of these should always be your top priority. These artifacts are mutually exclusive, so you can only hold one of either the astronaut or the Child's Watch at a time. They don't stack, so you can't get 2 extra lives. Resinous Shield. Whenever you pick up a resin, you'll get a shield that will protect you from one hit. Any resin will do this, even if it's malignant or spoiled. Some of the rooms can have more than one resin, so you'll be able to keep your shields up even after you take a hit. This can be a huge help in keeping your adrenaline high. Shield Disruptor. This gives you a 25% chance to break shields, which is completely busted. You'll be able to destroy any shield with just a few shots, so this completely negates any extra protection enemies may have. It's excellent for turrets and elites. Adrenaline Leech. This will heal you depending on how high your adrenaline level is. The more kills you have, the more healing you'll get. Pairing this with Resinous Shield is incredible. There are some other really good artifacts as well, so keep an eye out to see if any other ones speak to your playing style. You can hold up to 15 artifacts at a time, so you have plenty of room to stack your build. If you run out of space, you can destroy an artifact by holding the square button while selecting it in your inventory. Tip number 9. Go for Malignant items early. Breaking Malignant Obolite chunks early in a run will jumpstart the economy and can help get you some of those strong artifacts earlier than normal. I always go for Malignant Obolites or Sylphium early on since the reward usually outweighs the risk. Worst case is your run can end after a few minutes if you get a particularly bad malfunction, or best case is you get a strong advantage right from the jump that could make your run a little or a lot easier. Early malfunctions usually aren't too bad, and the easy ones can be cleared within a room or two. And finally, tip number 10, don't give up. While all of these tips can be helpful, this is the most important tip I could ever give. Don't give up. Some runs will unexpectedly end within a few seconds and will feel like getting punched in the gut, while others will be a struggle that miserably drag on until you finally run out of health. No matter what, keep trying. Returnal has an incredibly steep learning curve that rewards players who continue to climb up the mountain and sink into the depths despite the difficulties ahead of them. So keep it up. You got this. I hope these tips were helpful and will make a difference in your runs. With perseverance comes strength, and with every death you'll learn more about Returnal and will come back as a stronger player. Returnal is one of the most rewarding gaming experiences I have ever had, but it took a long time for me to get there. Even though it was incredibly challenging, it was also incredibly worth it. I hope you feel something similar throughout your journey. When the going gets tough, just remember, you can see the white shadow. As always, thank you for watching, and good luck out there.